Hey, what's up, YouTube? Uh, I wanted to discuss something a little bit different this time around. Um, it's been a tough few weeks for everybody, and it's strange that when I got home for 2 weeks, I stayed in the tent. I was paying attention to the news. I was talking to people. I still had social media of all the kinds of social media that I'm on. And for whatever reason, the last couple days that I've not been out in the tent have been considerably harder for me. Um, it's no secret. Uh, I'm a military veteran and I served in combat in 2004, 2005, and in that time, I saw some pretty awful things and developed PTSD while I was there. And I'd spent uh, a little bit of time dealing with that. I've spent some time with doctors, and I've spent some time with Wounded Warrior Project, and I've had really great success with a lot of the um, a lot of the ways of learning how to deal with it. Uh, Figuring out all of the ins and outs of PTSD, and even so much as being in school, learning about PTSD as part of my degree. Um, I hold a bachelor's degree in criminal psychology with a minor in homeland security. Um, so I've really put a lot of time and effort and study into not only biblical scriptural studies, but also psychology and just the homeland security aspect of it, which part of that is emergency management. Emergency management is part of homeland security. Um, so none of what's going on was much of a surprise. But if anybody really paid attention, it wouldn't be it wouldn't have been a surprise. You look at everything going on in China, in the Wuhan province. You look at everything going on in Italy, South Korea. Um, those areas kind of gave us a preview of what was to come. South Korea has flattened their curve. They have found ways to keep track, and they found ways to mitigate the risks. Italy did not. Italy did not take it seriously, and their health system was inundated before they were able to actually respond. And when you look at places like New York, that now has over 20,000 cases of the coronavirus, they're trying to figure out how to handle it. Their hospitals are inundated. They don't have enough ventilators. As if you watch the governor speak today, um, he spoke I believe, eloquently, and I'm not even a big fan of his. But he spoke eloquently. I believe he is sincere. The fact that they don't have enough ventilators, the fact that they're trying to find ways to make one ventilator work for two people. Um, as he said in his address today um, to New York and to anybody else listening, um, we need to remember that this is more about the 1 to 3% of people who will require ICU treatment. And even if you look at, what is 2% of 23,000 people? Well, 2% of 23,000 people is still way more than the hospitals are able to really manage. And of course, as he said, those are going to be the older, the youngest, those who are immune compromised. And there's a lot. There's a lot going on right now. No, this is not the flu, right? This is closer. If anything, this is closer to pneumonia, right? Pneumonia kills people. There's no doubt about that. Yes, the flu kills people. The problem is how fast this spreads. And I think really the problem is how people are treating it. But ultimately, what I wanted to talk about was the unforeseen issues that this comes with. The president has stated that he wants to get the country reopened, or at least reopening by Easter. Well, Easter's only in a couple weeks. Every major medical professional is saying that is a bad idea. Now, agree or disagree. The beautiful thing is people are making comments without any kind of medical background, right? Everybody has an opinion, and that's great, except for it isn't. People have opinions, and they voice those opinions, but what are they based on? Right? A lot of my opinions are based on analytical evidence. It's not feeling based. I don't do the feelings very well. So they're based on what I hear, what I see, numbers that I can look at, history, what does history tell me, and come up with some sort of educated response. At the same time, I hear people who work in the medical field. I see what's going on. One of the hospitals just in my area has now set up a military-style triage tent that if anybody is experiencing any kind of COVID-19, they go straight to the tent. They don't even go inside the hospital until evaluated. Why is that? Right? Why would you need to do that? Because it's freaking serious, people. That's why. Everybody's saying, oh, it's not that bad. You might get sick, you might feel a little crummy. You may not get that bad. What about the people you give it to? What about the occasional person that does end up in ICU, but the ICU is inundated and we don't have the resources to take care of them? People aren't using their heads. Yeah, there's a lot of people panicking out there. And ultimately, that's what I wanted to talk about. I don't want to talk about the panicking people because I got nothing for them right now. What I want to talk about is the anxiety that it causes. The issues that it causes for other people. What ridiculous opinions and comments cause for other people. People who aren't taking this seriously are the reason the virus is spreading so fast we can't keep up with it. When we're not careful and we're not taking care of each other, when we give unfounded opinions, oh, it's not that bad. Oh, it's fine. Doesn't matter what you think is bad or not. Not panicking is where we should be. Not worrying is where we should be. But the problem is, people have legitimate anxiety. People right now who suffer from anxiety, bipolar, depression, even PTSD, this has tremendous stress and effects on them. Dealing with those things is incredibly difficult. You know, scripture says, you know, and I don't even want to misquote this. So I'm gonna look it up real quick because it'll only take a second. Ephesians 4:29. You can look at it a couple different ways. The English Standard Version is, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear it." Are we doing that? Are we building up? I'll be honest. Earlier today, I posted something. It says, okay, the last public speech made by Trump, President Trump, he really let a lot of stupid come out of his mouth. All right, maybe that wasn't as edifying as it should have been. Ease restrictions? Question mark. Are you kidding me? Question mark. More worried about the economy than the public health, ignoring the public health leaders who have given him the opposite recommendations. While President Trump, wrong direction, disappointed in his recent speeches. Okay. It's an opinion. You're right. But it's an opinion based on the recommendations of the CDC, the Surgeon General, those who medicine is their job. And I hate to say this, as much as I have supported the president from the beginning, he's not a doctor. And his opinions of, oh, I don't think it's that bad, you're not a doctor. You have no medical experience. Making an opinion without any kind of legitimate experience and not following those who have the experience is foolishness. Why do I say that? Because it's scriptural. When left with a decision, seek godly counsel. Seek people who know and understand the situation. Now, the president, he understands economy pretty well. As a businessman, that's kind of his jive. And I understand the need to get the economy up and running. I get that. And I understand the danger of people being out of work. And I understand the stress because I'm watching it. I'm living it in my own home. So for someone to come in we need to be careful with what we're saying. Military triage You triage. You do what's necessary to save the patient. If you have to apply stitches to stop the bleeding, you don't take the stitches out before it's healed, because if you take the stitches out before it's ready, you're going to hemorrhage. So we have put a stitch in the country right now by distancing to slow the progression. If we end that too early, we risk thousands of people getting sick. And then what? We're right back where we started, but potentially worse. Educated opinion. There's a difference. Now for me, personal, yeah, I'm dealing with some stuff myself. I am trying to maintain order here. Trying to make sure that everything is taken care of here. Five weeks ago, I recommended to a lot of people prepare for this. Because if this gets out beyond China, and at the time, if this gets out beyond Washington State, it's going to explode. Look around. Look at New York. New York right now is the epicenter. 23,000 people. Just out of curiosity, what is 2% of 23,000? Well, we know for a fact that it's not 460. So what is 20% of 23,000? There we go. That's the number. 23,000 people, 20% of 23,000 people is 4,600, which is almost the numbers that we're looking at in New York. So if we're talking about a 20% of the total in New York is requiring medical hospitalization, whether it be ICU or otherwise. 4,600 people in a matter of 2 weeks. Those are the people that are requiring medical assistance. Now the rest, yeah, there's a huge number that can go home and run it out. Can every hospital see those kinds of numbers? Well, hospital, you know what I mean. No, not hospital, but area, region. Can they see those kinds of numbers? And the virus isn't even done spreading yet in New York. So, is this something to be concerned about? Yeah, it is. It is. Because as the governor of New York, or as the mayor of New York said, this is about the loved ones. This is about people we care about. Our mothers, our grandmothers, our fathers, our grandfathers, our children. Those who have immune issues like lupus or HIV or any number of immune compromising illnesses. What about them? Do their lives matter? Of course they do. I don't think we're doing enough for those who are in social distancing, personal, physical distancing. I think people have taken that social distance, and I think it's gone beyond social distance, and I think it's now gone into, or I think it's gone beyond the personal distancing, the physical distancing, and it's gone into social distancing, and we're not considering the people that might be struggling through this on an emotional level, whose anxiety is through the roof right now because they don't know how they're going to pay the bills, whose anxiety is through the roof right now because they're just frustrated and overwhelmed. Those who have PTSD and they're getting triggered because of everything going on. You know, for me, I've been good for quite a while. But in the last 3 days, I'm irritable. I'm not sleeping well. I'm angry. So I know that my symptoms of PTSD, which have been way down here for years, are now up here. And I realize that. And I've realized what's going on. And because I've realized what's going on, I have to know and understand and ask, who else is there? Who else is struggling with this? I'm sure there's somebody you know who's struggling with this. I'm sure there's somebody you know who has depression, who has anxiety, who has some form of disability with this. Because yes, it is a disability. It's a problem that people have to deal with. No different than diabetes or gout or obesity or anorexia. It's all a problem that we deal with, and it's all some form of disability, regardless of the severity. So, are we doing what we can? Or are we downplaying? Are we building up? Or are we causing strife just to cause strife? I would like to think that I've done a lot of building. And if I haven't, I mean, by all means, let me know. But I feel like I've spent a lot of time and effort to help build people. And to be there. And to express what some people are going through. And I'd like to think that I've spent that time making people laugh a little bit and joking around, trying to lighten a little bit of the mood, but not diminishing the severity of the situation. Because regardless of what you think of the virus itself, it's having very real repercussions. So it doesn't matter how bad you think the virus is, because that's irrelevant. Healthcare officials deal with that. We all have to deal with being out of work, being away from our loved ones, our friends, things that we had planned are getting canceled. You have no idea how much I had planned getting back from overseas that has been canceled now that I was really looking forward to. It's hard. Because I don't look forward to much. There is not a whole lot in my life I actually really look forward to and get excited about. But everything I've looked forward and got excited about, gone. For months, likely. So don't downplay. Because it doesn't matter if you think people are panicking or not. That opinion is irrelevant. Because they are. Doesn't matter if you think people are overreacting or not. It's irrelevant. They are. And that has repercussions for everybody else. You hoard stuff at the store, guess what? That has repercussions for everybody else. I went shopping yesterday and the day before for the first time since I've been back because there was things that I needed that I couldn't get because they didn't have it. Because the stores were completely and utterly empty. And I made a comment about that 4 weeks ago, while I was overseas, because I saw what was going on. I saw the start of it, so I made a comment of it. And even if it wasn't widespread in the US, it was starting. And now it's a reality. So what? So what are we going to do about it? You know, I made the comment 4 weeks ago. So I'm going to make it home just to starve to death. I leave for 30 days and the excrement hits the oscillating device. What are y'all doing back there? I posted that on March 6th. Because of what I saw in the news. What I saw people posting on Facebook. Now, I'm not there. But from what I can see on the Filipino news, on CNN, seemed like it was pretty accurate. Now, what about the anxiety that causes for the mother of 2 or 3 that has a hard time getting stuff for their kids? Are we thinking about that anxiety? Are we thinking about those issues? Are we reaching out to people who struggle? Maybe we should be. Maybe we should be. I'm just saying. Think about it. Think about how we're treating each other. Think about how we're treating friends and family and relatives and being helpful. Lifting up. It's not about panic. Yeah, people are panicking left and right. It's fine. People are people. They're going to do what they want to do. But people not doing the right thing is what got us into the situation. People not quarantining. I saw a guy on the news. He got tested. Wasn't feeling very well. Had symptoms. Went to the grocery store. Went out. Went shopping. All over the place. Tested positive. After he got tested, he started going out while he was waiting for his test results. So he's positive, and he's hanging around stores getting everybody in the store sick. Now everybody's mad that the government shutting things down, not letting people go out. That's why. That is why. People can't be left to their own devices. People can't be left to do the right thing because people don't always do the right thing. And they're causing stress and anxiety on everybody else. So before you make a comment, maybe consider the due stress you may be causing. And if I have caused stress, I apologize for that. It was not my intention. But I am stressed out right now. It's not even stress. It's because I'm not worried. It's inconveniencing. It's frustrating, but I'm not worried. Neither should you. But if you need some help, write me a message. Leave a comment underneath. You need someone to pray for you? Let me know. I'll pray for you. I'll pray with you. I'll talk to you. You got 99 problems? We all do. Share your problems. Share your burdens. Are we bearing one another burdens like we're supposed to? So, just a thought. All right? So, take it easy, everybody. Be nice to one another. Stay out of trouble. Find yourself something that you can do, a hobby, a stress ball, fidget spinner, something to help with your issue. Later, people.